Okay, then let's have all our participants enter the webinar. A very warm welcome to all our participants. Hi Bhavna, Kirt, Aditi, Akansha, Bhaumik, Chetan, Chirag, Divyal, Hiral, Neha, Nimesh, Parvati, Ruby, Sadaf, Sapna, Tushar, Udav, Vinita, Yugandhar, Vishal, Zarna. Thank you so much for joining in today. Well, it's time to begin our today's webinar. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. When we face a stressor, whether physical or mental, our bodies go through what's called General Adaptation Syndrome, that is GAS. GAS is a three-stage response: alarm, resistance, and exhaustion. Adaptogens help us stay in the resistance phase for a longer time via a stimulating effect that holds off the exhaustion. Instead of crashing in the midst of a stressful moment, task, or event, we attain equilibrium and can soldier on. In our today's session, we would learn simple ways to bring a big change in life. It is not just food, just exercise, or just meditation. Body is one, and in it lies the soul or spirit, and we got to nourish both of them. While you eat healthy food and exercise, meditation, connecting to yourself is equally important. It is all about bringing a holistic change. How can we bring this holistic change? Let's hear it from our expert today. HR Association of India welcomes you all to the 2021 Dialogue Masterclass series on the topic 3 ways to de-stress yourself with healthy living. To know more about HRAI and its event, I would request all our participants to visit the link and details posted in the chat window. I request all the participants to kindly follow the webinar guidelines mentioned in the chat window. It would be great to have all our participants' feedback. We'll be running a poll before the Q&A session. Request all our participants to kindly give your feedback on this session. I now take the privilege to introduce our esteemed speaker for today, Ms. Kirti Yadav, founder, Cooklean. With a background in computer science, 12 plus years of IT experience, Kirti is certified holistic nutritionist from AFPA USA. Kirti describes herself as a clean eating evangelist, where she promotes whole food plant-based lifestyle to live a healthy and sustainable life. Kirti describes her weight, fitness level, and strengths are better today than when she was in her 20s. Kirti is also the founder of Cooklean, an initiative to promote clean cooking and healthy eating. The mission of Cooklean is to spread awareness about healthy, plant-based lifestyle. She conducts various wellness programs at corporates, schools, and colleges. She also provides individual counseling for weight loss and general fitness. Bring a plate level change. Cooklean welcomes plant-based communities. E-store provides healthy, delicious food products across Bangalore. With 7 plus years of experience in food industry, Kirti closely understands various aspects of food and how food impacts an individual socially, psychologically, and physically. Cooklean and Kirti work towards solving why to eat, what to eat, and how to cook problems of every health-conscious individual. You can also follow her on LinkedIn. Details for the same are mentioned in the chat window. I now hand over the platform to Ms. Kirti. Over to you, Kirti.
Hello, everyone. So now I feel stressed out once the platform is given to me and talk about it. So yeah, we all get those butterflies and the hand starts sweating and the heart starts pounding. So all these are signs of stress. And that's what we are going to discuss today, as Peter has already mentioned what all I do. So I will not reintroduce myself, just that I am founder of Cook Clean, that promotes clean eating and whole food plant-based lifestyle. And today we are going to talk about stress. How do we manage that? And it's a process. So at every session which I conduct, I just say people, there is no medicine, or there is no instant, like on Facebook, you get instant gratification. In life, there is no instant gratification, especially when you are dealing with healthy lifestyle and when you want to move towards that. It's a process, it's a journey. And if we start enjoying that journey, it becomes a beautiful basically phase of life. And that's what I have experienced. Little bit about my journey. It started after my daughter's birth, when I was dealing with all these problems like constipation, headache, high cholesterol, and I had pre-eclampsia when she was born. And so all these problems were part of my life. And of course, the new motherhood was again was stressing me. I was always tired. There were sleepless nights. And that's when I started finding and figuring out what would really work. And it is really working on me. It has been 6.5 years. Following this kind of lifestyle, slowly I turned into completely vegan. That has helped me. So today we will talk about stress. Now, like now I'm giving a presentation, I should be stressed out about it. My stomach should, there should be something bubbling inside, my hands should sweat, my heart should pound. But honestly, over a period of time, when you start managing your stress, when you start calming down with different things, all this slowly goes off. So presentation, interview, deadline, all these definitely cause us stress. And I think last year, because of the lockdown, there was a lot of mental stress which the corporates were facing, the employees were facing. And I took a lot of sessions on mental health and, how can we manage stress? So like Peter said, it is not about, one part of it, that if I meditate, will the stress go? If I eat healthy food, will the stress go? Or if I, am exercising, will the stress go? No, it's all three together, because we as a body have everything as one. We have a soul to manage, we have a brain to manage, and we have, body which needs some physical activity. So today we would be dealing with all these three aspects in 1 hour's time. And I hope that one statement which I like in throughout my whole session, if one statement can make a difference in your life, then I think my job is done. Because it's all about walking on a journey. It's all about moving in one direction and finding out how we can manage things in our life. So let me just tell you a very little bit of nutrition and little bit of scientific story behind stress. Why do you get that? So there's something called as parasympathetic response, nervous response, basically, also known as fight and flight mode. This was in human being long ago, and it is still in us. So long ago, when our ancestors were living in jungles, so that's a nice beautiful story. So when they were living in jungle, if they see a tiger in front of them, or there's a wild beast, what will they do? They have two options, either to fight or flight. The best option is you flight, you run away from that. Because if you fight, of course, the beast would be more powerful. So our brain tells us that, we have to run away. And when we start running away, when we get into this mode of fight or flight, then our body starts reacting. The cortisol, the stress hormone is released, and there is a rush, and all the organs in the body start working to cope up with this situation. So your lungs or the airways will expand, the brain activity will increase, there will be a gush of the blood which would be going more into the brain. All the organs which are actually participating in this fighting mode or the flight mode, that is your legs, your hands, they would get more blood compared to the organs which are doing digestion or reproduction. So that time your digestion process will slow down, the reproductive organs will slow down. So you see, when this hormone is released, so many changes happen in a body. For a short period of time, when this kind of stress happens, it's good for us. Why? Because this stress actually helps to activate your body. And nowadays, unfortunately, we don't get a wild beast standing in front of us. So most of the time, what we get is, how do we generate this kind of stress, which is actually giving us a good impact by doing exercise. When we run, when we are weightlifting, or when we are playing some sports, competitive sports, that time all our muscles will stiffen. There is lot of rush of blood. The activities are changing. So this kind of stress for a small period of time is good for us. But now the situation is different. We are suffering from something called as chronic stress, or the word chronic means something which is for a very long time. And that's when this hormone is actually released constantly in your blood, and your body is trying to cope up with this situation every single time. So it's like now there is no flight mode, there is always a fighting. There is stress of house, there is stress of presentation, there's stress of deadlines, there are stress after stress, and the body is trying to cope up. So now this one single hormone, which was initially working to give you a burst of energy, is constantly pushing your body to give you more and more energy, and finally you get exhausted. Now when this continues for a very long time, you fall into a trap of something called as chronic diseases. Now what happens? Let's take it. Starts from your gut. Moment you are under stress, you will feel something happening in your brain, and the next thing which happens in your belly or your stomach, because it just starts reacting. There is something happening in the body because of this stress hormone. The first thing which happens is your digestion slows down, because the body is trying to cope up. Now when the digestion slows down and it is continuously sluggish, it is not able to do a proper metabolism process, is not happening, you will land up with the problems like constipation, gas, bloating, finally leading to IBS and all the stomach related problem. Now when this stress continues for a long time, the sugar is released more and more, the blood level, blood sugar level in the blood increases, and it's always on an elevated end, and that's when we call it as diabetes, or the type 2 diabetes. So now, why most of you would have heard that, okay, people who have got diabetes, please don't take stress. Why? Because this is what happens in the body. Because of this hormone, it starts releasing more and more sugar, because that is thinking that, okay, sugar is needed to give you a lot of energy so that you can run. But actually, it is just getting released, it is just getting elevated in your bloodstream, and finally you land up having diabetes. Of course there are other factors also, but stress is an important factor for you to get diabetes. Now this one happens, then constipation and stomach related problem are happening, sleeplessness, because you are so tired, your body is not able to fall into sleep, so that is another problem. Then you feel fatigue, and finally you get anxious about everything, and finally there is a term which we call as depression. So depression is actually very higher stage of the stress which is starting now. So we get stress for small things. Internet nahi chal raha hai, and we get stressed out. The kids are not listening, we get stressed out. Online things are not working, we get stressed out. Now long back, when our grannies or grandparents were there, their level of stress was completely different, and I think they were doing so much physical activity that it used to come out of it. But the lifestyle which we are living today, if we do not manage this, and forget about managing, preventing it from it to happen, and it should not come back to us. If we start working on it, then only we will be able to handle this. Otherwise, we don't know when, what point it will trigger, and slowly it will seep in. It will continue to seep in till that time, till you realize that, okay, you have to visit a doctor and he is going to give you one medicine or one pill. And this is for managing your stress. So we should not land up in that situation. We have to find out the ways how we can manage this. And the step before managing, like you manage something when you have. So if you have stress, then you're going to manage. So the best thing is you should not have stress. Now, how do you do that? How do you deal with this situation that you should not have any stress? So there are ways to live a beautiful, happy life. So we have to think about those things. So we have to prevent that stress coming to us just because of small issues in your day-to-day life. Like I said, the maid has not come, the internet is not working. Today, traffic is huge in Bangalore. I'm stressed out. Now, these things are not in your control. They are basically, outside you, and you cannot control them. What you can manage is just you, and how you can manage these situations, what would be the reaction of these situations which you will provide. So the first thing, now I'm going to talk about those three ways with which we are going to manage the stress. The number one, yes, of course, healthy lifestyle and healthy diet is one, which I will talk about later. But today I'm going to talk about a very, very interesting thing, which I'm not sure if you guys would have heard of, is basically herbs. Now, these herbs are basically called as adaptogens in nutrition science. Now, adaptogens basically need something which helps your body to adapt to the stress. Now, there are a lot of them, lot of herbs which will help you to calm down, which will help you to balance your hormones. So number one, they are non-toxins. They are absolutely safe to use, and anybody can use it, like adults. For kids, few herbs are good, not every herb, because they might change their composition, so we don't recommend. But yeah, for adults it's absolutely fine to get introduced to these herbs, which I'll be talking about. Pregnant women, they should not be consuming these herbs without consultation. So now we will be talking about different kind of herbs. Number one, they are absolutely safe, they are non-toxins, they adapt your body according to stress, they give you a calming impact. Now, if there is some hormone which is getting excess in your body, like your cortisol, or if there is a hormone which is produced less, is produced in less quantity, for example, your thyroid is coming in less quantity. Now, what these adaptogens will do, they will balance it out. They act as a modulator, or somebody who can modulate the excess or the less of the hormones which are present in our body. So today I'll be talking about few of them. Number one is this something called as ashwagandha. Now, this is an ancient Indian herb which is found, which has a lot of mention in Ayurveda. And these are called as Rasayana herbs. Why they are called as Rasayana herbs? Because they increase your vitality. They give you they increase your vital energy. And that helps you to cope up with this all stress and anxiety which we face every single day. So if we get this ashwagandha, either the powder or the root, all you have to do is just take 1 tablespoon of it, starting from 1 teaspoon to 1 tablespoon, and just boil it in water and drink it as a tea. This is also known for sleep inducing. The name is called as ashwagandha. Ashwa means horse, and the whole name means something which provides you strength as a horse. And that's the reason Ayurveda mentions a lot about this herb. So if we can get this herb instead of your tea and coffee, if we can stick to these herbal teas or these herbs, that would really, really change our life. And I will be talking about tea and coffee, which is favorite for most of us to relieve our stress anytime you get stressed out, you just need a break and you want a coffee break. So if we can, and being in corporate industry, I have seen how much coffee impacts us, but honestly, it is not a herb. The caffeine is basically a stimulating agent, which will just push you to get some more energy for a short period of time. And then it leaves you with lot of sluggishness and lot of tiredness. So if we can slowly, and it's very addictive. So if you have 1 cup of coffee, you would want few more. And once the excess of caffeine, which is going in and body, it keeps increasing, it impacts our every part of our organ, like of our body, be it heart, brain, nerves, muscle, everything is impacted when we are consuming caffeine. And the worst part about caffeine or coffee is that when you drink it, you become addicted. And when you want to leave it, that, sometimes a lot of us take resolution, okay, I will reduce 1 cup or I will completely leave coffee. But the bad part about is they show withdrawal symptoms. Moment you think to leave coffee, you will get a headache, you will get bloating, you will get some symptoms in your body which will push you to have 1 more cup of coffee. So these are the withdrawal symptoms which will not allow you to leave the coffee. But you have to have a strong willpower to get rid of it, because eventually this caffeine is not going to help you. So slowly we have to move out of it. If you are like, I can talk about how to get away from caffeine. It just takes 3 days of time, and you might get headache, you might get bloating or gas, but eventually the body understands that I'm not getting any more coffee or any more caffeine, and then it stops showing these symptoms. So now coming back to these herbs. So yeah, let's say no to coffee and switch to these herbs. They are beautiful, they taste great, and they have a very, very good benefit on our body rather than side effects. So they have side benefits rather than the side effects. So ashwagandha, like I was talking about it, it helps, it induces sleep. So at night, if you drink it, you get a very good night's sleep. Second, it helps you to, increase your vitality. It helps your digestion to improve. It helps the reproductive organ to work properly. So if we are including these things in our day-to-day life, they are really going to help us. And of course, it increases the brain activity. And that is why when I say it increases the brain activity, it doesn't mean that, it's like making you restless. It's actually helping you to calm down, to increase your concentration. And that's how your brain becomes more and more active. It understands the concentration level after drinking this ashwagandha actually improves. And it is really, really good for people who are suffering from thyroid problems. So that's the reason that ashwagandha is suggested to people who have hypothyroid. So this was about ashwagandha. Now the second herb which I'm going to talk about is Tulsi. We all know about Tulsi. It's in every Indian house. All you have to do is, we all know that it boosts our immune system. It is good for cold and cough. So the simplest way is to take the Tulsi, put it in your water, boil it, and add few more herbs like your cardamom, your clove, little bit of ginger, and a small amount of jaggery. Drink this herbal tea. It doesn't have tea leaves, because tea leaves again have caffeine in them. So if you drink this kind of tea or the herbal tea, you will get lot of benefits. And we all know that throughout last year and even now, Ministry of Health is promoting immunity booster drinks, and it is nothing but this herbal tea. You get all the herbs together, put it, boil it, and consume it. So these are the small things. These wisdoms were always there. It's just that we have forgotten about that. Now, the third herb, which I'm going to talk about, is called as Gotu Kola or Brahmi leaf. Now, Brahmi, the name itself says Brahma, or it is related to your brain. And there are stories which talks about that, it talks about elephant's memory. Basically, your concentration level really increases with this Brahmi leaf. Now, this is the leaf. I'll show you. this is the leaf, this is basically a Brahmi plant. The leaf is like this. A nice round leaf is what you get. You can grow it in your house, and either you can have it as a drink early morning, or you can just chew it like that, just wash it and chew it. Or I'm also going to show you one brilliant recipe which you can make, and you can just eat it. So in my sessions, most of the time I want to show food, because food is an integral part. And other than, so I just thought that I will tell you how to use this. If I just ask you, okay, make tea from this, maybe you would not be interested. So this Brahmi leaf is easily available in Bangalore, at least. So if you have to search at your place, if all of you guys are not from Bangalore. So I found these leaves, and now they have become regular part of my kitchen. And again, they are very, very calming herbs. These are again adaptogens. Once in a week, at least, if you can make this one chutney, or rather a pesto, and keep it in your fridge, consume it, 1 tablespoon of it every single day, it really helps you out. Now, is it just this chutney which would help me? No. As I said, there are many more things which we have to work, and we have to walk on this journey. But I'm just showing you this one as because it's an instant thing which you can do. And I always love to do that in my sessions, there is always a lot of cooking. So I do a lot of corporate workshops where I also used to feed people about what I'm making, because healthy eating is not about boring salads. It is a lot more interesting. All we have to do is leave ourselves a little bit from that oily, salty, and sugary food. And then we find the horizon is so big. There are so many delicious herbs, fruits, vegetables, and we can make them. So I'm going to put this in my mixer grinder. This is around, and of course, you can ask me your questions related to recipe or how do I manage stress or any other nutrition related question. So this is basically, I have put, yeah, I think you can see it. So I have put this leaves in my grinder, and these are pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are very, very rich in antioxidants and magnesium, which you need for your muscles. So especially when you are stressed out, your muscles stiffen. So if there is good amount of magnesium in your body, then they help you to relax your muscles. So I'm going to add this pumpkin seed into this. This is almost half cup of pumpkin seed, and I'm going to make this as pesto. Another calming agent also helps in your BP and diabetes is garlic. Eating empty stomach garlic is suggested in Ayurveda also, and most of the like home remedies, like if you have gas or bloating, have garlic. So this is what, around 4 cloves of garlic I'm going to put like this, and then little bit of lemon juice. So yeah, this is, as I said, I love to cook and show. And of course, if this was not a virtual session, I would have given you to taste also, because these kind of food we just have to explore and find. Otherwise, they are very, very tasty. Just that we have forgotten, and just that we don't remember these food. That's the reason that we have, 1 second. Yeah, so that's the reason that we just have missed out to use these things. So it's very pretty to use, easy to use. And then I'm going to add little bit of pepper and salt as per taste. So here I'm adding my pepper and little bit of salt. I'll just churn it for a moment, and then I'll see how much oil I'm going to use. I generally try to avoid oil as much as possible, but yeah, for some taste we can always put, but not too much. So I'm going to churn this. So you see, it just literally takes 1 minute of time, and this delicious herb and chutney is ready. It's almost ready, and maybe I can put little bit of water or oil. Otherwise, if you can would want to eat it just like that, because there's always, I had added, the smell is really, really exotic. If you guys would have been here, I would have, made you smell that and made you taste this. But yeah, it really smells nice. So that's the whole idea. See, you can see how it's little bit crumbly. If you want more paste, you can do that. But ideally, a pesto, which is made from Italian herb, is like this only. Little bit of crumbliness is there. So I just thought that the pesto which is made in Italy, or which is usually served across all the restaurants, instead of that, why not we use our own herbs which are grown on our land. So this is basically Brahmi pesto which I have made. And as you can see, there is no need of adding oil, because there is very good fat, or the oil which is coming from the pumpkin seeds. So that is the reason that healthy eating, also why it says about no oil, no salt, and no sugar. It's not that you deprive yourself from these things. It's about how can you inculcate these things, but in a whole form. So now I will be talking about that how do you change your lifestyle following these things. So now this is the nice pesto. You can have with your roti, you can have with your bread or your rice, or just scoop 1 tablespoon, eat it and enjoy. So this is I whenever I make my dishes, I start salivating, because honestly, believe me, they are really tasty. So yeah, this is one of the pesto. Find any herb. If you cannot find Brahmi, you can do this with other herbs also, like of course the basil is the standard one. This is the next one which I have tried. So yeah, this is one recipe. I hope you will try it. And now we will talk about the second part. Like, as I said, managing a body and our soul, it's not about just one type of ingredient or one type of food. Like, okay, if I eat Brahmi every single day, I will be calm. No, you need to work on all the three aspects of our life. And that is what holistic nutrition or holistic living is all about. You have to concentrate as a body, as a soul, as a mind, holistically joined together. We have to work on all the three aspects. So now let me keep this down, and then I will talk about different aspects. Okay. So now the second part of it, one was herbs. One of the ways to handle the stress, if we can get these kind of herbs, we should put it in our herbal teas, and should leave caffeine and all the teas which are present. Now let's talk about the healthy meal or the healthy diet, and then we will talk about the lifestyle. So now healthy diet, basically it's not about calories. It is we should focus on the nutrient rather than the calories. Now you will get the same amount of calories from an apple and maybe from 2-3 packets of chips. Now you know which one is better. Why? Because an apple is a better option, because it is nutrient dense. So if we focus on that, okay, I have to manage my calories and count them, and then only I'll be able to lose weight or live a healthy lifestyle, then we are making a mistake. We have to focus not on calories, but we have to focus on the nutrient dense diet or the nutrient dense food. And how do we make sure that we get that? A simple formula which says eat whole food, plant based, in a moderate quantity. There's a very simple phrase which says eat plants, not too much. That means if you are focusing on plant based food, and you are eating a lot of things which are coming from plants, automatically you will not overeat. And when you're not overeating, you're actually not counting your calories, because you really can't count calorie of every single ingredient which is going in your food. So the simplest rule is this food close to mother nature? Is this food whole? And that means it has more amount of nutrient. Now, is healthy eating boring? No, it is not just about salad. So I'm going to show you what I ate today afternoon. I just kept a small amount of it to show it to you guys. So this is what I ate today. This is millets khichdi. Now, millets are super grains. Now they are called as super grains. They are a traditional or ancient grains which lost value few years back, and now they are making a comeback. So this is a millet khichdi because it's whole in nature. I have added lots of vegetable in it, and I have added a small amount of dal. So it makes it as a complete food. So we have to think about, if you're thinking about carb, protein, fat, vitamin, and mineral, we have to think it in terms of food, not that, okay, from this I'm going to get carb, from this I'm going to fat, I'm going to get fat. We have to again think as a whole thing. So if I make this khichdi, the carbs or the good proteins I'm getting from my millets. Millets are rich in protein and they also have good carbs. When I say good carbs, that means they have a lot of fiber in it, which helps to aid your digestive system. It helps in digestion. So now this khichdi will have lot of vegetables, which means lot of vitamin and mineral are going. There is dal, which means your proteins, and then there is millet, which again has protein plus the carbs. When I mix all of this together and I cook it, then I get a healthy meal which has everything in it. Now, to add to more to it, what I can do is, now you must be thinking, where is the oil? Either you can make it completely oil free or just throw in few groundnuts, because groundnut is actually from where the groundnut oil comes. So instead of getting groundnut oil and then putting it in your sabzi, why not just throw directly the groundnuts? They will release their good oil along with the fiber, which is very healthy for you. So a healthy, balanced diet is all about eating a nourishing, nutrient dense food. And it is not about counting your calories. It is not about figuring out which element of the food will provide me carb, which will provide me fat, which will provide me protein. It has to be whole. And then what I did, I made a simple sprout salad today, which I just sauteed it, and it has again dal and all the sabzis. So I'm increasing the quantity of protein in my food. Now, another thing, there's a lot of question on why no dairy and why no, meat, which I can take afterwards. But I follow a plant-based lifestyle, and it's not that I get deprived of any nutrient. I get everything. And this is the curd which I have made, and it is made from peanuts. So it is possible to make curd from peanut, and it tastes absolutely delicious, just like how your dairy curd tastes. And it's a very good addition in your meal. So basically, vegans or the plant-based lifestyle followers, they do not get deprived of anything. It's just how you change your lifestyle. Also, we have to think about how many things can we include. This is also one type of cuisine. Give a try. I'm not asking you to start following veganism or start following whole food plant-based lifestyle, but this is a kind of cuisine, just like how you eat Mexican and Thai and Vietnamese. It's also one type of cuisine, or it's also one type of lifestyle. So just enjoy, just see what are the varieties which are available. So this healthy diet or the healthy food is another thing which will help you in managing your stress. Because when you are eating whole grains, when you are eating things which are close to Mother Nature, they help you to nourish, and you will not land up overeating it, and your body will stay calm for a very long time. So this is all about healthy eating. This is how I eat, and in fact my whole family eats. So if you're going to ask me, can kids eat this? Of course kids will eat. They follow you, so they will imitate you. If you can change your lifestyle, they will definitely imitate you. Like being a mom of 6.5, I have not introduced a lot of things to my daughter, and she doesn't even know them. And usually eat red rice in our house. So she prefers eating red rice over white rice, because for her, that's the food. So it's just about how do we change our diet, how do we change what we are eating on a plate. Then now I will be talking about changing our lifestyle. That's a slow process. It takes time. but like how we do every single project. When you get into a project, you decide what you have to do. There's an initiation, there's a planning, then there is an execution. So little bit of initiation, little bit of planning, and then the execution part will come. So let's take the two things which we have to work on when we are focusing on lifestyle. Number one is your exercise or the movement, any form of exercise, yoga, walk, running, and weightlifting, any competitive sports. But consistency is the key. You have to be consistent. Maybe just 30 minutes. Maybe instead of all 7 days in a week, you can just start with 3 days and extend it to 5 days. That's good enough to continue throughout your life. But we all need consistency. Like even in your project, if we don't work only when we are close to deadline. We constantly work on it. We show a consistent effort getting put into that, and that's how it shows the result. So even with healthy eating, with healthy lifestyle, it's not that today I will start and tomorrow it should start showing me the result. It has to be a consistent effort going towards it every single day in small amounts. So movement and exercise is very important. Just 30 minutes, that's all it needs, and body will start changing. It will help you to achieve what your personal goals are. Then the third thing in lifestyle is meditation. Now meditation, again, my philosophy of meditation is simple breathing. You don't have to sit in a position, you don't have to really put on 100 musics or do different kind of thing. Just feel that you are alive. Just feel that breath for just 5 minutes. Once you start doing that, and once your breath starts calming down, you will realize that automatically the thoughts will slow down. Right now, if you're sitting, there would be 100 thoughts which are coming. You're listening to me, you also would be messaging someone, you would be doing something else, your mind is just fluctuating like this. It because it can do multitasking. At one point of time, this multitasking was good and everybody was talking about it, but sometimes you need to calm down. And that calming down can only happen when you have just a single thought in 1 second of time. That is like really a big thing to achieve. And I'm also trying to do that can I just bring down my thoughts 1 second, 1 minute में हम सिर्फ एक ही thought रखें. If we can think about that, it's really going to create a lot of difference, and it's going to calm. So start your meditation from simple practices of just sitting and breathing. All this would help you to get a peaceful sleep. This is another aspect of life. We do not sleep now because of the media, which is overloading us. We are up till 1, 2, and maybe whole night. Do you know that the liver detoxification happens from 11 p.m. to 3 p.m.? Now, if in this time your body is constantly working and it's not relaxing, the detoxification would not happen. The system of elimination would not work properly, and you're inviting all the chronic diseases. So if we can switch off everything in these 4 hours and maybe start early morning, the same activity, if you have work or anything, it would really help you. And so this is one. Sleep makes a lot of difference. So your exercise, a bit of meditation, proper timings of sleep, and engaging yourself into something fruitful, something which you are passionate about, giving back to society. These all aspects just join together and they become part of your lifestyle change. So it's again, as I said, it's a journey. You cannot get everything in one single day. But if we start from somewhere, just like how we do it in a project, we start somewhere and then finally we arrive at a result. We have to do the same thing in eating or living a lifestyle. I have read a very beautiful, after this we'll open to questions because it's 3:45. Beautiful thing is we learn how to play a guitar, we learn how to cycle, we also learn keyboard skills. When we go on a project, we learn about a tool. But when it comes to eating or when it comes to living a healthy lifestyle, why do we assume that we know everything? Because maybe that's what has been passed from our parents, that's what we see around, but we need to give time to learn this skill also. This is one of the skills which you have to, learn it. So give time, give 6 months of time to yourself to learn this skill also, and it will create a lot of difference in your life. So yeah, with that note, I have taught you about one pesto sauce and what I eat in a day. You can ask me your questions.
Thank you, Kirti. Before we take up our questions from our participants, would request all our participants to kindly participate in the poll. We'll be running a poll right now. Request all our participants to kindly share your feedback on today's session. While you're doing so, request all our participants to kindly also share the questions related to our today's session in the chat window. Once again, I thank all our participants for joining our session today. We've received a lot of inquiry about the e-certificate offered by HRAI. You can all claim your certificate by sharing your details to the email ID provided in your chat window. We will email the e-certificate to you based on details received. Okay, so Kirti, we have received a couple of questions.
Sure.
How do we define healthy living? What all factors contribute to the unhealthy living, and how do we make changes in our lifestyles to make this entire shift?
Okay, so like I was talking about healthy living. So let's talk now, because I have talked about healthy living. Let's talk about what unhealthy living is. So unhealthy living again is opposite of healthy living. Now, when you're eating highly processed food, now let's talk about food. So when you're eating highly processed food, the food which is addictive to you and which you like to eat again and again, which is away from Mother Nature, and a food which is loaded with salt, sugar, and oil, that means that's the food which you should be avoiding, and that's the unhealthy food. Now, should I completely avoid that? Should I feel when everybody else is eating, what should I do? Should I wash their face? No, you have to slowly transit, and you have to be that icon who can transform them by simply eating your food, which is more delicious. So that's how you need to learn. There is, again, as I said, it's a skill which you have to learn. Suppose somebody is eating French fries. Now, what is the replica of that French fries? We can try making our own potato wedges, which in fact are much more healthier because they are made in the house, baked, and with less amount of oil. So this is a small change. Maybe if you offer to your colleagues or friend, they would want to taste that. So this is one simple, change. Another change, let's take rice. Everybody is eating white rice. If we just simply change from that white rice to red rice, because that's more close to Mother Nature, we are making a big shift in our day-to-day life. So you have to not think about what is unhealthy eating and what all should I avoid. We should think about what all we can include in our life and influence others, because that's what I have been doing from past 4 years. First, people used to ask me questions. Oh, you only survive on salads, is it? Or you only eat healthy stuff, and what about that? But now, because I have influenced them so much, the beautiful part is when I go and meet them, they try to bring out few food which is healthy. So that means I'm changing their mindset. I'm working with their mindset also. So start thinking in terms of what you can include rather than feel bad about what you're avoiding or what you're not getting. So that's the first step of living a healthy lifestyle with a healthy diet. Then the sleep. Please extend the number of sleeping hours. Keep your mobile phone little away out from your bedroom, at least half an hour, because the eyes have to shut down and you have to, the sleep has to come to you. So you have to give time to it. Please keep your mobile outside and it should not disturb you. And then a good night's sleep means next day you will be fresh and you would be energetic. So these are the small changes which you have to do, and they are not difficult. So yeah, we can start with that.
It's like shifting your entire phone to a night mode kind of a thing, and just having.
Yeah, or just just keep it outside, and your eyes will be relaxed and you will sleep off. So that's the beautiful part about keeping away. Mobile as such is not bad, but if we use in excess,
Excess.
even the healthy food, if you're eating in excess, it will harm you. So
Mhm.
moderation is the key. So use it as much as it is needed. Had mobile and internet not been there, we would have not interacted. So it is useful. But if I use it continuously 24/7, I'm just going to lose all my happiness and calmness.
Thank you so much, Kirti, for such a wonderful response. We have our next question from Dev Jani Seth. There are new concept of diet such as keto diet or intermittent fasting. Does this affect our mental health?
These are now, I would call them as fads which come and go. So keto diet again is focusing on one particular thing, one particular nutrient. Have a lot of cheese, have a lot of fat, and then you will lose weight. But then intermittent fasting, that's a beautiful concept, but it was always there even in our ancestors time. And fasting is the most powerful medicine. I would actually want to take up, that's a very good question, I would take up 2 minutes on fasting. Anytime you or any of your family member falls sick, that means the vital energy or your body is trying to fight the disease. Please do not give them any food. Maximum you can do is just give them hot water or lukewarm water, or if they really want to eat, because we are so much used to eating, just be on liquid diet. If the recovery time of that disease, like cold or cough, is 3 days, it would reduce to 1 day. Why? Because medicines, when we eat, they suppress your disease, they do not cure. But when you're fasting, you're giving your body a chance to fight that disease. And when you're fasting, the energy is not getting utilized in the process of digestion. So the whole energy goes into curing that disease or fighting that disease out. So intermittent fasting for 16 hours is a very good concept, and which you can follow. This is one of the name which has been given. Initially, we used to have Ekadashi fasting, and there are so many. The religious aspect was added to it so that people remember it. But actually, fasting is a philosophy, is a it's a scientific fact, and we should be working towards it. Once in a week, if you can fast, if you can fast in like once in 15 days, we all the religion talk about fasting. Why? Because there is some scientific base to it. So intermittent fasting is again one of the names given, which is like you do 16-hour, 12-hour, or 18 hours, but it is completely up to you how long can you do. But fasting is a very, very powerful medicine and a very, very good concept, which once a week we should do it. And keto diet, I would say these are fad diets which are concentrating on one nutrient, and they are just not thinking about all the other nutrients. So eventually what would happen, your body will get deprived of rest of them, and they will be only focused on one. You might lose weight for some time, or for whatever reason you are doing that thing, and eventually you will gain back. Because I have a lot of my clients who have followed keto diet, and finally they come back to me asking, that did not work. So yeah, so we have to be holistic, and we have to think ourselves as a whole and concentrate on whole food.
Absolutely. This takes us to our next question. That's from Akansha. How can we maintain a fitness if we have loads of desktop job with respect to HR?
Sorry, I didn't get lots of.
Lots of desktop job with respect to HR, with respect to work.
Oh,
That's what maybe she
okay,
mentioned.
okay. So when you have lot of desktop job, yeah, I think most of us now have that, we are sitting and we are working. So it's again a part of lifestyle. How do you manage that? Or how do you, there is a lot of discipline required, and it's a journey. We have to start taking one step at a time. Like I said, if you sleep on time, keeping your mobile away, the next morning would be very beautiful for you. All you have to do is just step out for 30 minutes. And I don't personally go to gym, so I would not comment on that. But my fitness, the weight loss of 28 kgs has happened because of the food and because of the walk, which I have been constantly doing for 30 minutes every single day. Once in a while, I also miss, because after all, sometimes there is some amount of pressure. You are traveling, there is some work, but try to do as much as possible. So even if we can do 4 times a week, that's good enough to start with. A simple walk would help you to breathe in a lot of good air. And then is your food. What are you eating throughout the day? That really makes a difference. So if you ask me what is Kirti's day and what do I eat, I start with a fruit meal, a huge bowl of fruit, which actually satisfied me. It's not just one fruit, but a huge bowl of food, fruits. And then I eat a meal like this, which will have salad, some part of carb, protein, vitamin, mineral, everything in one thali. I call this as a balanced thali. And then evening again, I would want to finish my dinner by 7 o'clock. From 7 o'clock till next morning, 8 o'clock, if I'm not drinking or eating anything, drinking, yes, you can have your water, but not tea and coffee. If you are not drinking any of those things, and you're giving a gap of 12 hours or 14 hours, it's actually intermittent fasting, and you're helping your body to heal, and you're helping your liver to get to do the process of detoxification. If you live this kind of lifestyle, I think, be it a desktop job or be it a traveling job or any kind of job, you would be able to happily manage everything. It will give you a lot of calmness. And 5 मिनट अगर टाइम मिल जाए सोने से पहले, if we can just close our eyes and give our gratitude to whomsoever we believe in, it would be a nice thing to do. So these are small changes which you have to do, and you really don't have to fret and fume about what do I do about mental health. So all these are steps to move towards that.
Yeah, so absolutely. So when we have been all in this closed doors ever since the lockdown, and we have been working from home, so it has been these four walls we eat, and most of our activities are restricted in this four walls. So yes, diet is one way. On the other side, a balance of physical activities also that would help us. So this takes us to our next question. How do I measure the effectiveness of my efforts towards de-stressing myself with healthy living? Is there a kind of a matrix measure that would help me?
Okay, so God has given us a very beautiful, brain and body to measure everything. And yeah, I know I've been in the industry for almost 12 years, and we do measure every milestone. And when I'm running my startup, which recently got incubated in IIM Bangalore, and again, we have to set milestones, we have goals, and we have to measure things. But honestly, when it comes to lifestyle, my simplest measurement is I don't measure calories. I don't count how much portion I have to eat. My stomach tells me, Abhi ho gaya, stop. If you can listen to your stomach, if you can listen to your body, it will start giving you right signals. If you stop listening, it will shout for a few times and then it will stop giving you signals. Let's take chips for that matter. Now, chips, when you eat one, you want one more, you want one more, and body will continuously give you a signal because the receptors are telling you it's enough, it's enough. But when we don't listen to it, it stops signaling and it stops telling, and then we start overeating. So if we are little bit of conscious and we sit and eat peacefully, the body itself will tell you when to stop. And that's the biggest matrix of you achieving what you want to. And the second thing which I check is, आपको अगर constipation नहीं है, nobody talks about constipation. Honestly, everybody talks about mujhe diabetes hai, I have BP, I have cholesterol, I have heart problem, because these medical terms are being talked about. Insurance also is given to these diseases only. Nobody gives that insurance on constipation. Okay, if I'm constipated, or if my stomach is always hurting, or if I'm bloated, or I have this problem, insurance also is not there for these kind of problem. But honestly, every single chronic disease starts from your stomach. So if you are every single day, if you do not feel light, then you are leading to a lot of problems. So agar aapne raat mein sahi khaya hai, subah aapka पेट साफ hai, and this is like so obnoxious that we are talking on this platform, but that's the reality. That's what even Ayurveda talks about. And if that part, the elimination and assimilation process happens properly, no disease will touch you. You will not be scared of any virus. You will not be scared of any bacteria. So it starts from your gut. Like when we say gut feeling, what is that gut feeling? It starts from here. It's the belly, fire in the belly. Everything is in your belly. So make that all right. Don't overeat, and that will be the best matrix for you to check your results. Everything will start happening.
Thank you, Kirti. Our next question is from Devchani Sheth. Once again, does the meal replacement shakes like Herbalife, Nutrilite, etc., helps or worsen the entire diet scenarios?
So again, like I'm nobody to comment on any of these brands, but just one question which I will ask you is, think about, are they close to nature? If you are, let's take, a grape, or let's take a blueberry, and now from that blueberry, you extract some component and put it in form of tablet, and then you consume. Is it not better to eat a blueberry, which will have that component as well as few more things? So you have to make your choice. If you are drinking or eating anything which is an extract of something, we rather go to the root of it, that is eating the fruit as whole. If you're eating vitamin C tablets, then eating an orange or a pineapple is a better option and cost effective also. So that's why we think that healthy eating is costly, because we are depending on a lot of supplements. Rather than depending on supplements, if we can eat something which is coming directly from Mother Nature and we can support our farmers, that would be a better option than supporting the pharmaceutical companies.
Beautifully answered. Thank you, Kirti, for such an enlightening session with us.
Thank
and
you.
Important aspects on nutrition, which we tend to ignore in our busy lifestyle, that has been addressed by you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure being with you today. And I'm sure our participants have learned to take away from this beautiful aspects of information that you have shared today. Before we conclude with our today's session, we would also want to thank all our association members, Geisha, NASCOM COE, LinkedIn Local, Talgrow, TLE, and Gliptop for supporting these HRAI events. To know more about these associations, I request you to kindly visit the link provided in the chat window. Thank you once again, Kirti, and our participants for joining us today. Do join us for our next masterclass tomorrow on creating a sense of belonging at the workplace by Ms. Sindhu Kalyan Sundaram on the 23rd of Feb 2021. Request you to kindly register for this event at the link mentioned in the chat window. Also to join the Dialogue 2021 WhatsApp chat group to the invite link shared in the chat window. That's it from us today. See you soon. Stay safe. Take care. And bye for now.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirti.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shyam. We may hereby conclude with our today's session.